Well, clearly that is not how we expected today to go. Insane. Insane. Poured on. I'm having one of Pat's heads of lettuce for lunch. Why these have peppers on them already? And just like that, the weather changes. It is Tuesday, June 24th, around 3 o'clock, something like that. I just got back to the farm. I went to the Buffalo Valley produce auction this morning. That was my first time ever there by myself, actually like bidding on produce for the farm market. And it went pretty well. I was nervous at first. There wasn't a ton of stuff there, but it's still early. And so I just got back from the farm market. I unloaded a lot. I bought cantaloupes, watermelons, tomatoes. So in here, we have a lot of our just empty crates and supplies for the season coming up in here, just to store them so they don't get dusty throughout the winter. Here's my 2 bins of watermelon, and obviously these were full until I went out to the farm market and unloaded. Cantaloupe, cauliflower, peaches, some potatoes, pickles, and zucchini. I think the Buffalo Valley auction goes every Tuesday and Thursday. So the nice thing is if we run out, we can always go back out in a couple days. The whole reason I went today was because Dad couldn't. He's getting the fields ready. Hopefully tomorrow we're gonna start planting. I'm pretty excited. I got this sunshade for the truck. Just because when the sun is beating down in here, these seats are like fire. So I got this off Amazon. It was like 20 bucks or something. It was cheap. So we'll see if it fits right. Well, it's definitely not anything special, but it works, you know, as it should. Guess I should put the window up. That'll help out a lot, that's for sure. Today is June 25th. It is another hot one today. I didn't think today was gonna be as hot as the past 2 days, but I was wrong. And so I'm here at the garlic field. I'm gonna grab some garlic for the farm market. It's still not done growing completely yet, but it's not far off. And so I'm just gonna pick probably around 15, 20 heads. My mom purposely left some of these scapes on here. That way she could tell once they straighten out almost like completely straight, and it'll grow probably like another, I don't know, 6, 8 inches. That's kind of an indication that it's done growing. Another thing we look for is like, you can see how the tips are starting to turn brown. Once it starts to get like more brown, like back into this area, and so do the lower leaves, that's when we're kind of like, okay, it's about time to start getting them out. Garlic is kind of funny, and onions are kind of the same way. Like once they're done growing, you want to get them out about as fast as possible, because what happens is if it rains especially, those bulbs will start to rot, and then you're losing garlic, losing onions, whatever it may be, and they just get weedier. It's just not good to leave them in the ground. There is no benefit. So I would think probably within the next week, 2 weeks at most, we'll be pulling these out. We used to do it by hand with like a fork, and we pop them out. Now we use the new piece of machinery we got this year, which you'll see here in a little bit. Now for some reason, and maybe it's because we had too much rain, these don't look as big as they do up on top of the hill, and usually it's the exact opposite. Usually when it's drier, this lays wetter, and these get really big and thick and like fat, like the stem wise up on top. Then usually they're skinnier because they just don't get as much water. But now, like I said, it's kind of reversed. Now these bulbs are not for storing because they're still green, they're not dried properly, and so we'll tell people that way they don't try and put these in their basement and store them for months on end. But when you are pulling them out for storage, you want to make sure that you're not putting a lot of stress on the bulb, because what's going to happen is it's going to like kind of dry and everything's going to pull apart instead of staying that nice like bulb. Like that puts stress on it when I'm pulling it out with all my might, because it's really rooted in there. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's the smallest. This is a good size. These are just medium, but I'm still under the impression that they're still growing, so I'm not gonna get nervous yet. When you pull them out by hand, you gotta really get down here and tug hard, and it's actually ripping those roots off. Like if you would pull that out properly with a fork, or some kind of machinery, you'll see thick, heavy roots coming out like this long, but now it's just ripping them off. That's a nice bulb. To me, the stem means everything as far as an indication on how big the bulb is gonna be, at least in my experience anyway. Oh, the tiny one. I like to take them out and sell them with this big green top on them, but it's kind of a nuisance for the customer because then, you know, can't get it in a bag. It's just big and cumbersome. So I'm gonna cut them off long. Kind of still gives you like that feel of homegrown, but yet just without that big top on there. And I'll probably take them back to the shed and wash them off a little bit. I don't know if she's charging by the bulb or by the pound. It's just hard when you have big and small bulbs, because what happens is the workers out there don't know how to charge for pricing. And so by the pound, it's just simple. While it's still wet, that outer layer peels right off. And then you're left with that nice white bulb. So then I'll bring them back here to the shed. And usually, I can just hose them off for the most part. Because these people, sometimes they're from the city and they don't want to see dirt on them at all. So this is what it looks like after it's cleaned. Nice and white and shiny. That's like field run, like average size. All right, good, you can take those. I guess I'll come out then and help set up after I check the greenhouses. Dad is over there with the skid loader right now. He's getting fields ready for planting cabbage, which is gonna be our mid-season. We're gonna plant my sunflowers, first batch, which actually I gotta put the second batch in the ground, totally forgot about that, or in the trays. And then possibly, maybe, which is gonna be a long shot, putting some eggplant in the ground. But that requires him getting a lot of fields ready, filling water tanks, you know, getting the planter greased, which we're not far off from any of that. It's just that it's gonna take time and we have other jobs going on. So I just got the market set up. Over here, because I couldn't fit it on the other tables, is garlic, pickles. Swing around over here. This is the only section I couldn't fill, but I didn't want to put pickles there. It just didn't seem like the right spot, because this is where we always put our potatoes. So we have red potatoes here, cucumbers, we have 2 for $1 zucchini, we have $1 zucchini, yams. These are our own green tomatoes. These are homegrown tomatoes, but they're not our tomatoes. Come around the front here. I just love how good this looks. You have peas, cauliflower, kohlrabi, tomatoes, broccoli, cabbage, cantaloupe, watermelon. Swing around to the other side, couple apples, very little nectarines, and then peaches. I bought them yesterday. Kale, rhubarb. Then we circle over here, we have red beets, beans, and then we're gonna be getting another order or box of bananas today, oranges, and we're gonna be getting more onions as well because we're all out of yellow, and this is all of the white and red that we have. All right, Dad said this thing starts like a charm now. Let's see if that's true. On the left side, you have your low, your start, and your high, and then the right side is just like 1 through 6, I think, or 1 through 5 in reverse. I guess I don't have to start. Oh yeah, plans changed a little bit. As I was pulling the case out, Dad came down and said he needed the case to hook up to the fertilizer cart because Nathan's coming to hopefully finish the corn today, and he's gonna need that to fill him up. So I ran home, grabbed my dad's truck, hooked that up to the water tank, and now we're filling. got my fertilizer here that I'm about to pour in a couple minutes. The problem with this wagon is that, as you can see, there's no jack on the front, nothing on the back, and so you can't really unhook it because it'll just flip backwards. It's actually kind of dangerous. Now, if we're gonna park it for a long period of time, I did fasten this board on here so that way we can fasten another board for like a back leg so it doesn't flip backwards. But we are in the process of trying to find a jack, not only for this, but for the water tank. The problem is they're both very little tongues that are low to the ground, and it's hard to find jacks that low. And if they're not short enough, what happens is, and we have this issue with other wagons, is that when we try and put the jack down, it's fine, but then we can't get the jack back up because you can't get it down low enough. And so it just makes it really difficult. So we wanna make sure when we buy a jack, we buy the right ones, and hopefully we can get 2 of them. You can't see it, but Dad's out here in the field right now. That's where the eggplant's gonna go, right next to the plastic there, where the peppers are. Sunflowers are gonna go where they always do, which is over by that little patch of woods right next to the garlic. And then the cabbage is gonna go up by our house, next to the soon-to-be strawberry field, new one. So I just got back over to the water tank in time. Wow, that hardened up. I gotta get this fertilizer in the tank. Man. I know there's gonna be some chunks at the bottom of this, but I couldn't get them stirred up all the way. So I just got the planter hooked up. We're about ready to go. All we gotta do now is load plants up, get the water tank to the field, and we can start. I just gotta grease everything here quick. I'm having one of Pap's heads of lettuce for lunch. I don't have a knife, and I don't think the lettuce is gonna last much longer, so I just pulled it right out. Hopefully he's not mad. I had no clue that water tank was that heavy. Like, I knew it was heavy, obviously, but I had to physically put the truck in 4-wheel because it was just spinning the back tires. And then still it was like really laboring to start moving, but once you're moving, you're fine on level ground. I don't really like the looks of that. It's like nasty stormy, and then beautiful sunny and blue. Usually the storms come from this way and work that way, so hopefully that's already past us. We really want to get at least the sunflowers, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, and the eggplant in the ground today. That'll be a big step. Then at least a little bit of everything will be in the ground. And then if we can't get in for a couple days, whatever, and then we'll hit it hard again. I am actually amazed at how good this stuff is doing. In this heat on the plastic, I was a little bit afraid that it was gonna like wilt down, but it's pushing through. I don't really know why these have peppers on them already, but I mean, nothing we're gonna do about it now. This is just a couple of herbs, like lemon thyme, I think oregano, basil, that Mom and Dad put in, parsley. And they're starting to take hold a little bit. Basil looks pretty good, but the parsley's struggling. This is where the eggplant's gonna go. This is where we're gonna start. I'm gonna bring the planter up right now. Pap's here working on pulling plants. Hello.
Hello. Just take a picture, tell me I'll work fast.
All right. You don't got much more to go here.
No.
We're just about ready to start. Filling the water tank now. Plant's already on. It's pouring over there by the cars, and we're barely getting a drop of rain right here. I don't know if you can see it with the background. Dad's running over to shut the car windows. Yeah, you can hear it too. There's like one dark cloud right here. And then we have blue skies, then dark, and then blue skies again. And you can see it back there clear as day. Like, it is pouring back there. I hope it don't come here. And now we're getting poured on. Oh man. It actually feels pretty good. And just like that, the weather changes. It went from blue skies to gray skies and pouring down rain. That might be it for today. Well, clearly that is not how we expected today to go. We knew we were supposed to get some storms around like 5 o'clock, and it's only like 3 right now. So we thought we were for sure gonna get the eggplant in and hopefully the sunflowers, then just do the mid-season cold crops another day, but Mother Nature had other plans. But at least now we have 4 rows in, so that's some eggplant. If for some reason we couldn't get in for a while. I mean, you can just see the water literally laying in the rows. It came down in buckets there. At first I thought it was gonna be a little passing shower. Well, it wasn't. I mean, we're not gonna complain about the rain. We did need some again because of how hot and windy it's been the past couple days. It dried stuff out, but we just wanted it to wait a little longer. We literally just unhooked the planter, left it right here in the field. I mean, it is just running out of the fields. Look at that, it's like a waterfall up here. I don't even want to walk in the field. My feet are gonna get caked with mud. Insane. Insane. So with all that being said, that's what I'm calling it a wrap for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and always remember it ain't much, but it's honest work. I mean, this just clearly shows that is farming. Like, there's nothing else that better sums it up right there. Things change by the minute.